Welcome everybody to another edition of Wrestling Therapy. The chair has been filled. I am Wasuji and I am back here with my friend John. John, hello.
Hello, long time no talk.
Yeah, it's been a little while. A lot of things have happened. We're gonna focus primarily
Yeah,
today on AEW because I know you are a AEW fan and you're going to the pay-per-view coming up.
I am. I'm going to All Out in 2 weeks from now. Yeah.
Before we do talk about AEW, we should talk about the AJ Lee return yesterday. AJ Lee made her long awaited return, 10 years just about. What are your thoughts?
You know, I said to people all along that I was expecting some sort of a troll. I was expecting WWE to do something kind of, I don't know if stupid is the right word, but to have somebody else there instead of AJ. I was always kind of in the back of my mind expecting that just because it's WWE and you never know what they're going to do.
Yeah, it looks like we're setting up a mixed tag match with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus AJ and Punk, I would assume, is the play. Um, we had Brock Lesnar make his return again
Yeah,
yesterday. What do you
yep.
what
I mean, yep.
No, go ahead.
So, I mean, the Brock thing, when Sammy and Cena was kind of announced and that, I was like, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Brock's going to interfere in the match or whatever. Brock's going to make sure that Cena doesn't win the US title, that type of thing. And the Punk and AJ Lee thing, I've heard a rumor that they're thinking about doing the Seth and Becky versus Punk and AJ Lee as in like a winner take all thing for Seth and Becky's current titles.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, but at the end of SmackDown, AJ Lee left with Becky's title because Becky left the Women's Intercontinental title in the ring. AJ Lee had the title at the end of SmackDown.
She stole it. Gotcha.
Yeah, basically she pulled a Hector Flores. She saw it sitting there and she picked it up and used it herself.
All right, so now we also have another event going on that same time as WrestlePalooza, as you mentioned, AEW's All Out. Now,
Yep.
initially this was going head to head with WrestlePalooza, and AEW decided to, some say, strategically move their show, some say cowardly move their show. What do you think?
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest here. I love AEW. I probably enjoy watching AEW more than I do WWE at the moment. But I also think that going head to head with Brock and Cena, as well as head to head with the Seth Punk, AJ, and Becky, I think that AEW did make the right decision with moving the start time earlier because when you look at it, you're paying money to order an AEW pay per view where you can watch the WWE one. If you're not in the US, you can watch it for free on Netflix.
So my
So it's
question to
kind
you
of
is
like
this then.
if they're going head to head, yeah.
My question to you is this: if AEW wants to be looked at serious competition, why shy away when the competition is knocking at your door? To me, if if you are confident in your business and your company, and a bigger company is knocking at your door, it's like, hey, we're making a show just to go head to head with you. Wouldn't you want to welcome the competition instead of running from it?
See, I get that point, but I think AEW also is at a bit of a turning point right now because you've got two of their biggest baby faces that they have both out with injuries right now. Swerve Strickland is out with an injury. Will Ospreay's out till probably All In next year with a neck injury. So in a way, AEW is also like, okay, do we really want to go head to head right now, where we don't have some of our very best performers, and risk losing viewers to a free show?
I mean, I guess to me, as a mostly pay per view watcher of AEW, um, it doesn't give me confidence. Like you already had your show on this day. This was your initial time, and then WWE said, "Hey, we're gonna compete," and then you're just like, "Well, nah, nah, y'all got it." I can understand if it was like a SummerSlam, a WrestleMania, a Rumble, maybe even Survivor Series. I can understand that's their WWE's big shows, but I don't know. It just I think I view it a little differently.
Yeah, and I
What
mean,
are
that's totally, yep.
what are you excited about with AEW right now? What is keeping your interest?
So for me right now, I'm interested to see what they do with the women's division right now because I think with the injuries to Swerve and Osprey, like I said, where you've got two of the people that have carried the company on their back for the last year or so that are both out with injury, I'm I think this is a time where they can really really push the women's division and showcase what talent they have. Because, in my opinion, right now, I think AEW has the better women's division than WWE. I just don't think it's showcased enough.
That's an interesting statement. Care to elaborate some more on that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. You've got people like Tony Storm, people like Jamie Hayter, people like Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, young people like Sky Blue, Julia Hart, Megan Bain, the new one there, Tekla. Like these are all people that could easily be top of the card, feuding with one another. And when I look at in-ring ability of that group, I would put it above the current top WWE for in-ring ability. But again, that's my opinion.
No, I like that your opinion is different. Which is why I messaged you like I wanted to speak with you because you have a different take than most people, and you watch AEW more, and I want to talk about all wrestling, whatever's out there. Um, what is the current card for All Out looking like, and what is your excitement level as you're going to be there?
Yeah, so right now, officially, they have three matches that they've announced. They have Mercedes Monet
I cannot hear a
versus
word you said.
Riho. Riho just sorry.
I didn't hear a word you said. You was talking, but no words were coming out.
Oh. You have Mercedes Moné against Riho. That's like the first main match that they've announced. Riho just made her return after Monet beat Windsor this week. And that's an interesting match because with Mercedes Moné, it eventually it's going to be a time when she loses that TBS title because she's had it for over a year now. And I honestly thought that they might put it on Alex Windsor this past week.
Do you think Riho would take it?
I think that that's a possibility. Um, because I mean, Riho's the first ever AEW Women's Champion, and she's been out with an injury for a while. If they take the title off of Mercedes, that does free her up to go back up to like a main card, like with Tony Storm or whoever else, going after the main title rather than the mid card title. And the mid card title has some credibility with something like a Riho at that point too.
That's a fair point. All right, what else we got?
So we have Ricochet and the Gates of Agony up against the Hurt Syndicate. So Shelton, MVP, and Bobby against Ricochet and Gates of Agony. And that's been a feud that's been going on for a while, really. Ricochet and the Hurt Business or Hurt Syndicate, that went on when he first showed up. He tried to get involved with the Hurt Syndicate. And really, Ricochet is an interesting character in AEW. He's probably done more in AEW than he ever did in WWE. But again, he's not like a main card person. He was for a little bit, but they've kind of moved him back down a little bit.
What do you think of Ricochet's abilities on the mic?
Ricochet on the mic, I think he's getting better, but there are times where I don't think he's the greatest on the mic. I think he's like a mediocre talker. I think he is getting better, and they've got the hired muscle now with him with the Gates of Agony. But it'll be interesting to see whether or not they push Ricochet with their two of their main stars out right now.
Okay. And what else is going on for All Out?
The other one that is announced right now, we don't know if this is the main event. It could very well be the main event just because of where they are. But the other match that's announced is FTR against Cope and Christian. So Copeland and Christian in their hometown of Toronto, teaming together for the first time in however long, facing FTR. And this FTR Copeland and Christian feud, that's been building for a while, and I've really liked what they've done with that. It'll be interesting to see if that's the main event, because if it is, that also could be a reason why AEW said, okay, we're going to move the start time. Copeland and Christian versus FTR does not compete with, like, say, Punk and AJ Lee versus Becky and Seth as main event sides.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Um, any predictions for additional matches? I know we're gonna have you back on before um you go to All Out, but any prediction for any matches to be added?
So, I think Kyle Fletcher is going to be involved. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what they do here with Kyle Fletcher, because the Hangman Adam Page and Kyle Fletcher, they could go that route, because Fletcher took out Page and Omega both after the match this week. Kyle Fletcher stood tall over both of them. So they could put Kyle Fletcher in a world title picture against Hangman Adam Page. I think that if Hangman has a world title match, it will be against somebody in the Don Callis family. And right now, I would say those two somebodies would either be Kyle Fletcher or Wardlow, one or the other.
He did just come back not that long ago. I remember that. Okay, any other predictions or things you would hope to see?
I honestly hope that we see kind of two Don Callis family members going head to head. I want to see Kozusuke Okada and Konosuke Takeshita. I want to see that match with Okada's title on the line, because there you've got two of the best wrestlers in the world. That's a feud or a match that I would pay good money to see. And I think that would be a good chance for them to put the belt on somebody like a Takeshita, especially after Takeshita winning the G1 or whatever it was called over in Japan recently.
What is your excitement level for this show currently? I know there's only 3
You
matches.
know, yeah, with that, I'm kind of excited. I want to see if they do the Darby versus Moxley thing. That seems to be the route they're going, with Darby taking out other members of the Death Riders and Darby trying to challenge Moxley and so forth. I think that would be another great match to add to the card. And I'm excited for just the atmosphere, because wrestling pay-per-views are always a different atmosphere than like a house show or a Raw or SmackDown or whatever. And this will also be my first AEW show live. I've been to lots of WWE shows, but not an AEW one. Am I disappointed that I'm not going to see like a Swerve or a Will Ospreay? Of course, those are like the two main reasons that people that I wanted to see. But the Ospreay thing, I get it, because he's got to have neck surgery, and more than anything else, they're trying to get him back for All in London 2026, which is the end of August, and normally with neck surgery, you're out for about a year.
Yeah, depending on the severity and how everything heals and stuff. Yeah. Um. So current champions in AEW. I did this. I did
Yep.
this WWE, and let's do one for AEW. So the current women's champion right now, I believe, is still Timeless Tony Storm. Correct?
Yeah, it's currently Tony. You're right.
Um. Who do you see dethroning Tony Storm?
I see it being one of two people right now. I see either Athena getting another shot at Timeless Tony Storm, because that match at Forbidden Door was a great match. I felt that Athena should have won the title in that match, but Tony did keep it. Or Jamie Hayter is the other one that I'd really like to see get that world title back on her shoulder. So those are my picks right now to dethrone Tony Storm, either Jamie Hayter or Athena.
Okay. The TBS championship, I believe, is Mercedes Monet.
Okay, so Mercedes, we're
TBS.
talking about a mid-card champion. Yep. I mentioned Riho earlier when I mentioned the match, and that's one of the people. Again, Alex Windsor is another one, because Will Ospreay's girlfriend, fiance, whatever it is. I mean, she's been in AEW for a few months now. I like a lot of what I see from her. Um, Another very wild card for this would be, say, a Willow Nightingale, because I like Willow as well. She's very good, but I don't think they've done enough character-wise to build her. So this could be a building stone or building block for her.
Okay. Um, the TNT Championship, I believe that's Kyle Fletcher.
TNT, yeah, Kyle Fletcher. Right now, I don't see anybody beating him for quite a while. I see Fletcher holding that title for a while. Now, somebody that I'd like to see, I could see somebody like a Ricochet taking that title. But again, that's heel versus heel at the time because Fletcher's very much a heel right now. So is Ricochet. But he's one person I could see taking that mid card title. In terms of somebody else, maybe as a face side, um, maybe somebody like a Daniel Garcia again, or giving somebody like that a opportunity. Even somebody like a Claudio Castagnoli. You know, he hasn't won a singles title since joining AEW, really. So this is another time that you could maybe break him away from some of the Death Riders storyline and give him kind of a push on his own.
That'd be different. Claudio was really good. Before we continue, I also remembered seeing earlier today that Daniel Bryan or Brian Danielson, excuse me, Brian Danielson is now a permanent member of the commentary side of things.
He was, yeah, he was at on commentary at Forbidden Door. That would be a cool thing or a cool moment if he was on commentary for All Out.
From what I
Um,
understand,
I
for what I understand, he is going to be a permanent member of the commentary team going forward.
and that would be kind of cool. The one thing I would kind of like to see on that side would be, say, Brian Danielson versus like a Wheeler Yuta or something. Even if Danielson somehow got back in the ring for one more match or something, somebody like a Wheeler Yuta that Brian tried to take under his wing and Wheeler went with Moxley and them. That would be a way where you kind of it could be a very easy storyline to put somebody like a Danielson in if he was cleared to compete.
Can you hear me? I am back. I don't know what happened there, but you was talking about Will Yuta. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?